is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX for $19 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orviet Awards and more. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and more, where recognition is rewarding.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slowman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slowman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slowman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moodius Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moodius Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodius.dental. Moodius Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodiusdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, epic deals await you at Toyota of Hollywood. You don't have to battle to get discounts of up to $4,500. Your chariot awaits. A Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our arena where everyone is victorious at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Kane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rome. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rome can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Dolphins, the Panthers,
On a Monday morning where, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. You know what I'm saying? Because, so, I mean, you know, sometimes you got to look at the bright side of life. You know, that's what I would say to Dolphin fans. Go Canes. You know, hey, man, at least our season doesn't suck double. We've been, you know, a couple decades of Canes suck, Dolphins suck. Well, the Dolphins suck, and the Canes are awesome. So, number 4 in the country, my favorite number, actually. They're at my favorite number, number 4. So, there we go. You know, I can switch hats. I can, more good news, you know, that kind of stuff. I can do that. There's good news. You gotta look at it, you know. Fort Lauderdale United is unbeaten. I mean, there's stuff going on. That's good. The ladies are 2-0-2. Unbeaten. Won again against Dallas, which, by the way, they're the top 2 teams in the league. Get your asses out there and support the Fort Lauderdale United. Support the Canes. As for the Dolphins, well, it is the soap opera that is the soap opera that is the Miami Dolphins. You know, it's some guy goes to me in the on Twitter today, and you know you've played this game, and so have I, because we're Dolphin fans. He goes to me, if Achan would have stayed inbound. And I go to him, dude, we've been playing this game for 45 years. If Bocamper hangs on to the interception, if you can stop Thurman Thomas, if you don't trade Anthony Carter for Robin Senline. I mean, if I want to start with the ifs, if you draft Drew Brees, if you get Drew Brees the second time, you know, if I start playing the if game, which is what us loser Dolphin fans do, you know, it would be amazing. We sit there all the time. If this, if that. That's how we've been for 45 years now. If this, if that, whatever, you know, if we didn't trade for Hugh Green, you know, if we didn't sign Eric Green, if we didn't draft Sammy Smith, you know, if we didn't draft Ted Ginn, you know, if we didn't hire Cam Cameron, you know, I just don't play the if game. The if game is for losers, first and foremost, but the if game is our lives because that's what we do. If we would have run the ball and protected Dan Marino, maybe if we run the ball and protect Tua, it might be a lot different too, but you know, that's just kind of the way it goes, you know, so don't play the if game. Usually the if game is tied to losers. What are we talking about? Losers. What are the Miami Dolphins? They're losers. There are lovable losers, but they're losers. So, listen, man, being stuck in the middle, to me, you're a loser. It's the same thing. Oh, we won 9 games. You're a loser. Okay? And that's what we've been forever. And so let's see. Don't they do that in the Dr. Pepper commercial? Isn't there like a Loserville in the Dr. Pepper commercial? Well, that's where we've been for 45 years, in Loserville. And there's no ifs about it. By the way, All Year Cooling, reach out to our friends at All Year Cooling, proud sponsors of the Fort Lauderdale United. Number one AC and plumbing, all your cooling and plumbing, extended warranty, financing available, same-day installations, free repair estimates, 7 days a week service. Reach out to them. Tell them that Big O sent you. 888-204-5554 from Homestead to Vero Beach, and new offices on the West Coast for all of our listeners in Naples. Tommy and the great people there at All Year Cooling, and we appreciate their sponsorship. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink or Solana donation, which we always appreciate that. The amazing Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. As always, you are a stud, my man. Thank you for your generosity every single week. And thank you for helping us stay alive, which is what matters. And thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can send your questions, comments, insults, all there. I mean, even a compliment if you want to send a compliment. That's all right. By the way, smash the hell out of the like button. We're at 42 likes. I want to just give a little love to the folks yesterday. If you tuned in to the post-game show, just want to thank you all. Why? Because I saw that we hit 1,100 likes on the post-game show yesterday. So that is super, super nice of you all for hitting it, because that gets the algorithms going out and more people. And, we can bring the Dolphin Nation more to reality like we do on this show, instead of the bullshit that they feed you out there in the media. They just lie to you a lot, dude. Or they mislead you too, which is what I see a lot, and that's just sad. Instead of actually, giving you guys the tough love, unfortunately, the reality of what's going on. But I've noticed that the today's media is very afraid of being brutally honest, because they're afraid of losing their followers and their readers and all that. And you have to trust people, and you have to be honest with them. Eventually they will adjust, and they will appreciate the honesty. That's what I've learned. There'll be people that can't stand it and they hate you and all that other stuff. All right. But in the end, the people that you really want to be gravitated to are the ones that are going to appreciate the brutal honesty, because nobody likes to be lied to or misled, and we try not to do that on this show as much as possible. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to get some shit wrong. There's no doubt about it. But, we're going to try to keep you at least on the right track. So please keep us on the right track. Smash the hell out of the like button. We got 212 watching right now and only 61 likes. So if you're listening later on or watching, even on the podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Amazon, wherever it is you listen, please smash the like button there too. Get it going and get the algorithms going. We appreciate that immensely. By the way, the Dolphins are already a 12-point underdog in Buffalo. Over and under is 49.5. Buffalo is minus 850 on the money line, and the Dolphins are plus 550. I thought Patriots plus 2 was the easiest bet of the day yesterday. I didn't bet it. I should have, but I can't do that. I can't do that. My buddy did. He made a nice chunk of change. But I couldn't do it. I can't sit there and root against the Dolphins, dude. I cannot do that. It's just not in my DNA. As much as I know they're going to suck, as much as I know they were going to lose, I just can't do that. I don't know why. It's just not good for me. I don't want to do that. It's just, how do I sit there and root against my team because I got a couple bucks on it? That's just, I can't do that. I can't. But I knew they were going to lose yesterday. I didn't feel well about it. I told you guys in the pregame. And we one of the things that came out of the post-game show, and these are things that you guys know on the show, like I'm not big on repeating myself. I hate to constantly repeat myself, and so we look at yesterday the subject that came out. One of the many subjects that came out of it was how unprepared they were, whether it was getting a play in or knowing where to line up or whatever, and taking a timeout, whatever it was. And then we hear the explanations from, McDaniel. And I know too, I got to talk to Bevel and talk to McDaniel and talk to the players. And here's where I hate repeating myself. Okay. We're 4 years in, dude. Like I don't even have the time to talk to you about this already. This is just absolute nail in the coffin proof that Mike McDaniel is a complete fuck up, dude. You're 4 years in and your team isn't organized. That's all you need to know. That should have been fixed in the second year. The first year, I can allow anything to go on almost, except for forgetting you're down in a playoff game. I'm not forgiving him for that. That's not something a head coach of an NFL team can forget, especially when the moron is the effing OC. So you get no breaks here on that, but it's your first year. The fact that we're in year 4 and we're still talking about the same issues, like what does the owner do? Does he not see the same thing? Like, how incompetent is Stephen Ross is what I want to know. Your coach is unorganized for 4 consecutive seasons. Not 1, not 2, not 3. Like, how do you survive in your job if you're unorganized? For 2 months, right? What's your grace period? A month? 2 months or something, whatever job you have? And you better get your shit straight and start getting on. This guy gets a fucking extension. An extension at being unorganized. He wins nothing and he gets an extension. Wow. So what I want to know is, what is Stephen Ross paying attention to in the box? What does he just waddle around? Is that it? Is that all Stephen Ross does? Like, you're the owner. Does somebody in your business, in construction and in real estate, are they screw-ups their 4th year into your business? Do you keep them around, Stephen Ross? How is a coach unorganized 4 years in? And why in the world are we even discussing this? Why isn't his ass out the door? 4 years in, and the guy can't get organized. Come on, man. He can't put a sentence together. He sounds like a complete buffoon out there. He's an embarrassment to the team. He's an embarrassment to the organization, to the fan base. The players don't really give a shit about him. I'm just wondering, what qualities have they gravitated to that keeps that man in place? I have no idea. I'm trying to figure this out. I was pretty much getting off of his bandwagon a while back, and as you all know, in that Colts game last year, I wanted his ass fired. I don't know what Stephen Ross is watching. But you cannot keep somebody around that is that unorganized. I'm about to get this sneezing attack. Damn. Yeah. Anyway, you can't keep this guy around. I mean, it just makes no sense. How can you compete if you can't be organized? How can you have any pudding if you can't eat your meat? There's no way that any business survives unorganized. I doubt Tom Garfinkel is unorganized in any way, shape, or form when he runs the Dolphin organization, right? You seen that place? Have you seen how that stadium's grown? Have you seen everything they've done around it? Everything they've built, how they've built up so many revenue streams off that property now? Tom Garfinkel is a master. You think that guy's constantly screwing up? Is there any part of you that says, no, yeah, Tom Garfinkel must be screwing up like crazy behind the scenes and they still keep him around? No, what they're doing is giving him a raise every year because all he's doing is creating just and it's awesome because the main product is the worst product on the property. The hospital's better than the team. The Canes are better than the Dolphins. The practice facility is better than the Dolphins. The gondola system is better than the Dolphins. The bridges are better than the Dolphins, right? Jazz in the Gardens is better than the Dolphins. Rolling Loud is better than the Dolphins. The F1 is better than the Dolphins. The tennis tournament is better than the Dolphins. Circus du Soleil is better than the Dolphins because the Dolphins are the second circus in the big top. It's the one that produces the most money, and it's the worst product on the property. Is that amazing? A Taylor Swift concert's better. 4 of them. A Rolling Stones concert's better. A Green Day concert's better. What was it? What was a country dude? Was it like Jason Aldean that was there or something like that? What was the country dude that dominated there over? No, it wasn't Aldean. I forgot. I'm not a country guy, but he was there, and everybody came out better than the Dolphins. Everything that they put on that, everything Tom Garfinkel puts on there is better than what Stephen Ross can put on there. It's pretty awesome, huh? Pretty freaking awesome. Tom Garfinkel constantly brings on all kinds of events and teams and national championship games. Lord knows we're not seeing any of that with the Dolphins. We're not going to any championship of anything. Championship, maybe. Super Bowl will come to town. That's the only time the Dolphins get to go to the Super Bowl in their own stadium, when they actually get to go visit and buy the tickets. Whichever Dolphins are here every, 7-10 years we get one or something? Kenny Chesney. There you go. A Kenny Chesney concert is 1,000 times better than the bum-ass Dolphins. Think about that. Think about that. The worst property on that whole place is the team. Everything else brings enjoyment to everyone else. Well, the Canes didn't, but now they do. So now we got to. Canes went to the other side now. What is Stephen Ross seeing? I'm just wondering. Why? Why are we talking about this? Why are we tolerating this? I am so sick and tired of Mike McDaniel and his clown ass, irresponsible, immature ways that command no respect whatsoever in a world of men and testosterone, and something he has none of. By the way, we do want to remind you that Toyota of Hollywood is a proud sponsor of our program. We love Herbie Lopez and the great people at Toyota of Hollywood. They know how to get it done. They've been at it for a long time. They are the number one volume sales dealership, Toyota dealership in the Southeast United States. You know, they're open till midnight. And when they created Toyota of Hollywood, they said, we're going to create a place that can take care of everybody. Get the best prices because we got the largest selection. Okay, we got that. People get in, they pick the car, the color, the style, the model they want, they get the price they want, and they go there, right? But then you go, all right, well, everybody can't get here by 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Let's open till midnight. People work, hardworking people. They need to go get a car, and they can't go during the day. They can't take a day off. They can't afford that. They need that money. So they come in the evening, open till midnight, you can get the car. Okay. It's raining. Well, a lot of dealerships, you don't want to go shopping in a car in the rain and all. No. Well, they've got like 8 floors. I don't know. It's like 5 or 6 of them are full of cars. They got over 2,000 cars, 1,200 new ones. It's all on the roof. So if it's raining, you're like, honey, no problem. Toyota of Hollywood, everything's on the roof. It's hot. It's humid. Do you really want to walk parking lots in the heat and the humidity? Oh, man, you're sweating. You're schwitzing. No, you don't want to do any of that stuff. Guess what? Under roof, much cooler, away from the heat and the humidity. Get on down to Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7, right on 441, right between Hollywood and Sheridan. Tell them that Big O sent you. Herbie Lopez, the amazing people. And if you own a Toyota, like a 4Runner, you want to buy a Prius, a Corolla, but if you own one, you own a Camry, you want to get it serviced, take it down over there. They got the service center, ginormous, 2 restaurants, huge lounge. You can relax, change your oil, rotate your tires. If you're looking for that Camry LE, how about the sedan right now? $299 a month. Get on down there. Tell them that Big O sent you at Toyota of Hollywood. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, Chainlink or Solana also. And we always encourage that because we get 100%. That's why we tell you. We appreciate the super chats, but stinking YouTube takes 30. Greedy bastards. The great Jack Roldan. Thank you, sir. He says, what if Ross doesn't fire McD after we lose on Thursday? Well, Jack, it's a great question, and it's one that I would tell you. I would tell Stephen Ross, hey, dude, if you want to continue to commit business suicide, you go ahead, buddy. All you're going to do is piss people off even more. They're going to. I already know 2 of my friends that canceled season tickets already. They called to represent. Don't bother me anymore for season tickets. I'm out. I'm done. I know another guy that sold the rest of his tickets for the season. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You go ahead. People will. I mean, if I'm, what I would do is I wouldn't have season tickets. I would buy tickets on demand, bro. That's it. And by the way, if all of you, like, if you were following a team that you were unhappy with and you guys dump your tickets, the prices are going to go down, not up, because there's no demand for it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when they get good, you buy your tickets. The problem is for 45 years, you keep buying going, maybe this is the year, this is the year, this is the year, and it never comes. So it's kind of frustrating. So I understand people that want to dump their tickets. I get it. You're not getting your money's worth. That's for sure. You never get your money's worth with the Dolphins. Those are the facts. For 45 years, you don't get your money's worth for the Dolphins. It's just kind of the way it is. So it's not like something that you can have hope that, they're going to fix it. Next year. It never really comes. So are you just better off waiting for it to actually happen? And then, oh, okay, I'll go buy tickets then. You know, like most people do with the Marlins. Nobody gives a shit about the Marlins. There's only a couple of, real seam heads. Okay, there's a couple. We know. But most people don't give a shit about the Marlins. And when they got good for a month and a half, people went. Now that they're back to what they are, people are gone. And that's it. That's probably the best way to do it. It's probably the best way to do it. Very minimal amount of people have season tickets, right? That's probably what they deserve. Minimal amount of people to have season tickets. And, hey, dude, if you guys are good, yeah, we'll show up. If you're not, I'll stay home and I watch. I got to tell you something. Look, I'm a guy that has covered a ton of games. All right, a ton of games. I was a beat guy for many years. So I went to all the games and traveled and have covered championships and all of that. On Saturday, I felt like the luckiest man in the world. And, Sean and I, we talk about it all the time when soccer happens and they have delays. And he and I were doing onside and all that. And you have to, they build a stadium without a roof here, which is just stupid. And they're out there in delays. And, a soccer game that is normally 2 hours and you're done. You're out there for 4 hours, 5 hours. And what happened with the Canes game? I got to tell you, I don't miss going to games at all. I went to so many games. I've been to so many games. I am super comfortable watching it on TV. Not being there, sweating and hot and humid and hours just there, tailgating and all. I get it. A lot of you do it. I can't do that. I can't do it that much anymore. To me, it's not that fun anymore. You know what I mean? I'd rather just be home, relax, watching it on TV. I get to see everything. I get to take all my notes. I don't miss a damn thing. Whereas live, I'm not going to be able to do my job. You know what I mean? So I like for Madrid, I'm going to go to the game. Okay. But that's because it's Madrid. It's something special. And I'll go. Sean and I, we were in Seattle. I wanted to see the Seattle one. The Buffalo one, I've been to Buffalo a bunch of times, so it didn't, it wasn't something that was killing me to go or anything, so I've gotten to a point where to get me to go out to the stadium is going to be near impossible. To go out to the arena, near impossible. It's got to be something so special. Watching at home is just way too comfortable and cheaper. Way cheaper. I can't afford necessarily to do a lot of what some of you fans do out there. And then just cleaner, bro. I'm in my own bathroom. I don't have to deal with drunk idiots and all that other stuff. I did also the media thing for so long. That's boring too. Getting a media credential for me is boring. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to even do that. It's just one of those things that I'm kind of tired of doing also, So on Saturday, I was so grateful that I was home, man. So blessed. And I appreciate you all out there supporting the show, our amazing sponsors. Because after 30 years of radio, Sean and I are blessed here that we're into our 6th year on our own in the platform and not having to count on a corporation or anything like that, which is really, really cool. So thank you all out there. Very blessed. And I felt that on Saturday when everything was going on with the Canes. But I don't know, man. I don't know what Stephen Ross is watching, to be quite honest. That one I don't understand. I really don't. So what are you going to do? It is what it is. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. We appreciate it as always. All right, what do we got here going on? Let's see what we got on the chat board. I see Stephen Harris, Jay Gelfin in the house, One-Eyed Jack, Jack Roldan says, do you really think Ross will actually fire McDaniel? I'm concerned that he'll stick with him longer. If he wants to, he'll bury it, but he better fire him. He better fire him. Oscar Rojas, Ted, been busy with single dad stuff. My daughter recently began her junior year of high school in New Jersey. Awesome. Congratulations, my brother. B-Rob, would you get rid of the coach and GM or just let the ship sink? You can't keep that coach around. The GM stuff, I explained it to you guys. That stuff, if it's going to happen, it'll happen at the end of the year. They're not going to do that now. Okay? If they may not even do it. Because I told you, if McDaniel's not his hire, they may not fire him. So, if he was just working and working along with everybody else that wanted McDaniel, it is what it is. So be prepared. That could be the case, is all I'm saying. But you've got to fire McDaniel after this week. You should fire him now, to be quite honest. It's so bad. It's a mulligan for Weaver taking over. So that's kind of the way I would look at it. Howard Johnson, Horn Dog, Chris Daughtry is in the house in upstate New York. Says we need to fire Greer and the head coach and make Darrell Bevel the interim head coach. I wanted to talk about that. I want to talk about it because let me explain to you, sir, why that's a dumb move. All right, here we go. Definitely you got to fire McDaniel. And you got to name Weaver the head coach. Okay? Because Slowick can run the defense. Now, what's the problem we're having right now? We have a guy that's the head coach and the offensive coordinator. He can't handle both. So what are you going to do? Put Darrell Bevel in the same position? Usa la cabeza. Be smart. Use intelligence. Think about it. Your problems are you're unorganized on offense. You got the moron trying to be a head coach and an offensive coordinator when he isn't even an offensive coordinator. So now we're going to put the weight of the world again on one guy to be the head coach and the offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, Chris. I appreciate it and all, but I just want you to realize that it's really a dumb suggestion. Okay? So the smart suggestion is you have Weaver, who's a great leader of men. Okay? He's a good communicator. All right? Then you have Slowick take over the defense. That defense is rough as it is with no secondary. And then Bevel gets elevated to OC. And he gets to run the offense and focus only on the offense and not also be a head coach. Whereas Weaver has more CEO in him, it looks, that McDaniel does not have at all. So anybody that tells you that Darrell Bevel should be the offensive coordinator head coach is ridiculous. Okay? Because no usas la cabeza. You're not using intelligence and common sense. Okay? Part of the mistake that we're in right now is that guy is in over his head as an offensive coordinator, and he's also the head coach. So let's not do that again. Insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. That would be doing that with Darrell Bevel. Yeah, let's name him head coach and offensive coordinator. No, dude. No. Darrell Bevel needs to be the offensive coordinator because he's the most experienced one. I'm not using Studsville, okay? I'm using Bevel, all right? He knows Tua and everything else really well, and maybe he comes from run-oriented offenses from Seattle and Minnesota, okay? So they focused on the run where he was at. I like it. So that's the way you do it. Putting Darrell Bevel out of putting him in head coach and OC, that would be absolutely ridiculous. Okay? So that's the way you go about it. Plus, I just think that Weaver is the best suited for a CEO type of person, whereas McDaniel does not even fit that. Okay. So, and I'll take Slowick as the defensive coordinator. That's fine. We could get by. Weaver can work with him, and they can prepare the defense throughout the week, and then Slowick can coach it, and then Weaver can manage everything, and Bevel will run the offense. That is the structure that you need to use when you fire McDaniel after Thursday night. If they're going to hang on to the bum till Thursday and fire him on Thursday night after they get trounced by Buffalo, then that's what that's my suggestion. Okay. If you want to be a stupid organization, which you've been for 45 years, you go ahead and put Darrell Bevel as the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Let's just keep doing what we've been doing wrong all the time. So there you go. That's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it. I thought about that. And I thought about the other angles of it and why it made sense to go this way. And I think if you think about it, if you weighed it, I think you would agree that that's probably the best way to go and kind of balances everything out, at least for now. But you got to get rid of this guy. You have to get rid of him. Let's see. Weaver's defense sucks, so a fact, but because the man has nothing but a underperforming line, he only has pass rushers. He has young DTs, so you only have to focus on Sealer. The young DTs are going to take a while. They weren't going to make a transition right away. Your linebackers aren't great coverage linebackers, and since you have no secondary, how do you neutralize a pass rush? Run the ball right up the middle. On those young D tackles until they figure it out and make quick passes. And you can do whatever you want against that secondary because it's not a very good secondary. This is an easy defense to attack. This is why I didn't expect a good year. It's why I try to prepare you all for a bad season. Please smash the hell out of the like button. We got 136. That's pretty damn good. But we got 354 watching. Frankie Fresco is here. What about Frank Smith? Well, Frank Smith can keep helping to prepare the offense, but I like Darrell Bevel as my OC if I'm doing it. For me, I like Darrell Bevel. Okay, Bevel's worked with Hall of Fame QBs. I like the run-oriented offenses. He's had success. I like Bevel out of all the guys there to run the offense. But, Frankie, I want him just to run the offense. I don't want him running the team too. No. I just, no. Makes no sense. It's just an overload. You know what I'm saying? And you've got to delegate stuff. And that's why it's really special what Andy Reid does. Like, and the guy from the Rams. And, it's just hard to actually be the head coach and the coordinator, dude. It takes a special coach to do that, and our guy is neither one of those. He's not special, he's not a head coach, and he's not even an OC. I mean, he can't get people organized. He's not an OC. Can't even stay with the run, dude. God bless. Jesus. Where Ollie Gordon, that just disgusted me yesterday, dude. Jack says, new OC comfortable with Tua, Weaver as the leader and Slowick as DC. Weaver came from Baltimore and should know how to run a team. Exactly. Yeah. I like Weaver as like the delegator overall. He has more of a CEO in him. And that's where I think his role would be better suited at this point where we're at right now. Okay. At the end of the year, if this group proves nothing, you clean house and you get, you go through your whole process and you go get a coach and all that. But for now, you have to maintain the continuity you have in here and try to just kind of fix it because nobody from the outside is going to fix anything. Okay. So you wait and then you take your time and you try to make the right hire after that, Howard Johnson, the secondary was, you didn't expect it to be horrible? I did. I don't know, dude. I picked 7 and 10, my man. I'm not sure what you picked, but I expect, and I was being nice. As Pat in Asheville told me, you're being nice. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure where the problem with some of our Dolphin Nation here is you all had expectations, and you shouldn't have had expectations. That's really your problem. You shouldn't have had expectations for these guys. AJ, best thing from Sunday's game was watching Big O get 500 likes. Well, we got 1,100, bro. Ended up. So it was good. It was by the time we got off, we were like in the 850 range, right, Sean? We were somewhere around there. It was pretty good, man. It was pretty awesome. And you guys rocked it. So thank you. That really helps get it out there. And visit our sponsors too, by the way. Okay. Please visit our sponsors. Pat in Asheville says Dolphins have beaten the Bills twice since 2018, both when I was at the game or at the state of Florida. I'll be in New York City Thursday night for a Wolf Alice concert. My streak is OVA. Let's see. Bill Murray says Brian Flores has been vindicated in all of this. He said you can't win games with two other trash players that Greer picks. I mean, Bill, if that's what you want to look at, that's fine, my brother. Again, this is a guy that couldn't build an offensive staff, had 3 different offensive coordinators, 4 different offensive line coaches. He had a 7-on-7 coach, Kyle Orton, who had never even coached at college or the NFL. He was the QB coach. He reached at 7-on-7. He couldn't build an offensive staff. And Tua still won in spite of all of that, actually. So I know this. I saw Tua win a championship with a real coach and a real structure. I haven't seen that here yet. And Flores has not been vindicated of shit. He's nothing more than a defensive coordinator. That's all he is. Nothing more. So he's not a head coach. He can't build a staff. So if you can't build a staff, you can't be a head coach. So you swung and missed on that one too, my brother. Horn Dog, I've been saying 6-11 all off season. This is a shit show of a team. It looks like 3-14. Yeah. Well, at least when we get a high pick. That would be good. Mr. Spock, what does it say about McDaniel that in 4 years hasn't grown to realize he can't call an offense? Stubborn SOB. After year 1, he should have relegated the offensive job to Bevel or Frank Smith. 1,000%. But his ego will not allow it, and he's more stubborn than Gase. And Gase was pretty stubborn. But this guy is ignorant. He's not stubborn. He's ignorant. To keep running Achane and not use Ollie. What did Achane average? 2.7 yards a carry yesterday? Some crap like that. Let me see here. It's really, it has to be a thunder lightning type of thing is what you would do with Achane. 2.7, 11 carries for 30 yards. Really? 11 carries for 30 yards. Ollie had 1 carry for 8 yards. You're a stupid coach. You're just a stupid coach. I mean, you are catastrophically stupid. That's all I can say about Mike McDaniel. You're a stupid man. You run Devon Achane 11 times and Ollie Gordon 1 time. The one time he ran, it was 8 yards. Achane's longest run was 9. And Ollie carried a couple of people. And as I said last night, it got me sexually aroused. And then you blue-balled me by not running him the rest of the night. Don't get it, bro. Don't get it. You're just a stupid man. That's what you are. You're not hard-headed. You're stupid. You're ignorant. You're a dumbass. That's what you are. You are a stupid mofo. Your ignorance, your stupidity is so, it's Jimmy Johnson-esque. It's stupidity like Jimmy Johnson in the national championship for the second time in the mix for a national championship, and he continues to allow dumbass Vinny Testaverde to piss away another big game. Threw 4 interceptions the year before in the Sugar Bowl against Tennessee, and here you are against Penn State, and there's Alonzo Highsmith averaging 6 yards a carry, and you continue to allow dumbass Vinny Testaverde, choke-ass Vinny Testaverde, the only choker that's bigger than Messi in this town, Vinny Testaverde, to throw one interception after another, and you don't say, you know what, let's just keep handing it off to Highsmith and we'll win this game easily. I've never seen such a stupid man like Mike McDaniel and Jimmy Johnson. I mean, these are king-size morons that I've run into in my life. Yeah, your precious Jimmy Johnson. Your precious overrated Jimmy Johnson. Because of what he did in Dallas. Got a little streak. Everywhere else he's stained, bro. Dolphins, stained. How he sabotaged Marino, and how he underachieved with the Canes. Should have won more. But anyway, it's a whole other story. But since Jimmy Johnson's stupidity with Vinny Testaverde, I've never seen a dumber human being than Mike McDaniel. I don't care how smart he is. So what? Who cares? He's stupid. He's an ignorant fool. One time for Ollie Gordon, 9 yards. You ran Devon Achane 11 times. How many times do you need to see him fail running, you dumbass, before you go to the guy that can actually move some people? This is a really king-size, stupid human being. And he's this size. Anyway, if we get a top 3 pick in the draft this year, we need to trade back and get assets for 27 and 28 and just draft Maui Noah mid-first. There we go. That's it. You got the whole plan. It's already done. Just mail it in. Abel, Big O, I know you don't like looking forward in the season, but at this point, the way the team has performed, I'd say fire McDaniel, put whoever you see in interim. Yeah, I've been saying that, bro. It's what I want to happen. Are you not listening? I want him to fire him now. Don't wait till Thursday. I mean, let me tell you something. If you don't fire him after Thursday, well, assuming they're going to get their asses kicked, which they are, okay? Once they lose that game and you don't fire him, whatever fans want to do is all right. Ban the team, not show up for games or whatever it is that you guys want to do. You're entitled to it because they really don't care about you. They only, they take your money and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? If Stephen Ross does not fire Mike McDaniel on Thursday night, it's basically telling the fan base, you guys are clowns. And I expect you to buy the tickets anyway, and I'm going to do whatever I want because there are no repercussions. You people are stupid enough to buy the hats, the shirts, the tickets, the club seats, and all that, and I can keep doing whatever the hell I want, and I'll fall asleep, and I'll just waddle every once in a while, and who cares? I'm making money. That's basically what he's going to tell you. If he fires him, then he cares, finally. Should have fired him last year, but whatever. If he fires him, then he'll show me that he actually cares about the fans. If he doesn't fire Mike McDaniel on Thursday night, he does not care about the fans. No way. No way he cares about any of you out there at all. Okay? No shot. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink or Solana donation. Peter German, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, Big O, I walked myself back off the ledge last night. I had an idea as an interim head coach. What do you think about Ron Rivera? He's defensive-minded, lives the run, and is tough. I love Riverboat Ron. You know, you're hitting me with something that is close to my heart. You know, I know Ron Rivera very well. Great man, one of the best human beings you will ever meet on the planet. And when he was an assistant coach and a coordinator in the combine, he and I would get together all the time and smoke cigars and talk football. And we would always do it in Indy every year. We'd meet there. Sometimes sometimes it would be at the Senior Bowl, where we would meet sometimes and hang out. And so I am biased when it comes to Ron Rivera. I got nothing but love for Ron Rivera. The only problem that I would tell you with that is that he would be coming into a situation that he doesn't know anything about. And then he has to kind of figure everything out. But he is the kind of leader that you would want in this situation. I would have to agree with you on that. He would definitely be a choice for me.
Hey, this is Ron Rivera, head coach of the Carolina Panthers. You listen to the Big O Show, my cigar buddy.
There's my boy. I had to get him. I said, well, you got to do me a cigar promo.
Hey, this is Ron Rivera, head coach of the Carolina Panthers. You listen to the Big O Show, my cigar buddy.
There you go. I love Ron. So I'm a big Ron Rivera fan, and would love to text him and congratulate him for taking the Dolphins job. But it would be tough for him here to make that adjustment. But man, I love that call. I love that call. Tough guy. He would demand them to run the ball. Bevel could be still the offensive coordinator, and then you leave Weaver as your defensive coordinator. I like that, actually. I like that. That's a really good idea. I like that. It's just tough for him because he comes into a situation that he doesn't know very well, but he would bring a lot of respect immediately to that locker room, because that's the kind of dude he is. Wow. I like that idea. I like that idea for other ways too. You know, so that's somebody that I could actually, you know, I'll go down to that will get me to go down to the building finally. You know, that was like, whoa, Ron's there. Let me go down there and talk to my man. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a level-headed leader. You know, aggressive. Foundationally loves to run the ball. Has been in some really tough situations with the teams he's been in. I like that one. I'm a little biased, I'll admit, but I like it. I gotta say. That's one that I can live with. Subaru Pembroke Pines. We'll be there next week having some fun at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And, of course, you go see Alan and the great people there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. You see that QR code? You can use it, get $500 off when you're going to buy or lease a vehicle. Or if you go in person, tell them, hey, man, Big O sent me here. He told me I can get $500 off, and they'll work out a deal for you. The 2025 Subaru Forester, $257 a month right now. The 2025 Outback, $247 a month. The 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, $197 a month, that lease feature. 2.9% financing also available. That is awesome, dude. The Legacy, it is a beautiful sedan. You can get it for $267 a month right now, 3.9% financing available. The Forester Premium Hybrid, that thing is awesome. Awesome. I can't wait. I'm going to get an SUV myself, $447 a month. Get on down there, 16100 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, man, all right? Go see Eric Stampone and all the great people out there, man. They'll get it done for you at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. No, I don't fire Franks. You only fire McDaniel, dude. You only fire You can't make too many drastic changes. You only fire McDaniel. You change the guy at the top, and you replace him. I do love the Ron Rivera one because that kind of leaves everything. But if you don't do it that way, you just put Weaver at the head coaching spot, and then elevate Slovic and leave Bevel as your OC. I'm not putting Bevel as my head coach OC because that's just stupid. That just is counterproductive to what we want to do. That's our problem right now. We have a guy that can't even be an OC, and he's also a head coach. I don't want to do that in a tough season where you've already lost 3 games. Let Bevel just focus on being an OC, and then you can find out if things work out. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let's do our 3A Graphics sports calendar with the one and only Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Reach out to him. If your company or corporation, you need some uniforms, shirts, hats, you can do all of this by Zoom and email, and he can ship it out to you right away. Pats yesterday defeated the Dolphins 33-27, dropping them to 0-2. They will take on Buffalo on Thursday night at 8:15, and Buffalo right now is a 12-point favorite. The over and under is 49.5. Miami is plus 550. Buffalo is minus 850. In football, the Miami Hurricanes, they get it done against South Florida. They kick their ass 49-12, improved to 3-0. Carson Beck, 23 of 28, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Also 6 rushes for 28 tough yards and a touchdown. Less running, Carson. Anyway, Mark Fletcher was a stud. 16 rushes, 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also caught 2 balls for 25 yards. They will take on the sorry-ass Gators on Saturday. The U, they have now moved up to number 4 in the country. They are an 8.5-point favorite against Lagway and the turnover Gators. The over and under is 52.5. The money line, Gators are plus 250. UM is minus 325. Saturday, 1 o'clock, we'll be here for you for the post-game show. Tonight in the NFL, I'm sorry. I'd be remiss if I did not mention. I would have mentioned it at the end, but mention it now. The Fort Lauderdale United, they defeated Dallas Trinity FC 4-1. That was a battle of the 2 best teams in the league. Kelly Van Treek with 2 goals, and she'll join us at noon. So they got it done Saturday, September 28th. They're off for a few days now. They will travel to Brooklyn to take on the FC of Brooklyn at 3 o'clock. All right. Congratulations to the ladies. Tonight in the NFL, Bucks and Texans. Texans favored by 2.5, 7 o'clock for that kickoff. Chargers at Raiders, 10 o'clock for that kickoff. The Chargers, they're favored by 3. The over and under is 46.5. And last but not least, we leave it last because it's the team that continues to drop in the standings, and your favorite choker and mine, Leo Messi. Yes, sir. He choked twice in that game. 2 chances to score, 2 chances he failed, and they lost to Charlotte 3-0 as Messi and the boys continue their choking ways. They have dropped to 8th in the standings. 8th in the Eastern Conference. I'm sure the Moss brothers spent more money than everyone else in the MLS to be the 8th best team in the Eastern Conference. Guess what? The old legs need to bounce back because Tuesday at 7:30, that's tomorrow, they will take on Seattle. Good luck. They got 6 games in 3 weeks. These old guys are going to get eliminated in those 6 games in 3 weeks. They are going to be so worn out, dude. So worn out. It is amazing. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. That's your graphic sports update. It's not a regular sports update. You know, people just have sports updates. This one comes with commentary and shots at the same time. So it's a different kind of sports update.
Boy, you pay a lot of money, man. Jesus. A lot of money for that. Holy crap, dude. That's Moss Brothers paid for that? Is that what they paid for? Huh? Wow. Man. Okay. That's what you paid for. Go for it. What can I tell you? Anyway. Don't forget, please smash the hell out of the like button. We got 333 people watching. We got 186 likes, which is fantastic, by the way. I got to say, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But if you can, smash the like button. Lots of you have not smashed the like button, so that'll get us going. Kosa is Ali. What else do we have? Brooklyn Rob, what would be so Dolphins if they somehow win against Buffalo and Ross keeps Greer McDaniel? No, he'll extend Greer on top of the extension. I mean, McDaniel. He'll extend McDaniel on top of the extension like he did with Philbin. So, like, he had 4 years on his contract. They'll add 4 more. We'll have, if he wins on Thursday night, we have McDaniel locked in for 8 years. I mean, why not? Finally beat him. That means maybe we'll win again in the next 5-7 years once. Yeah, Messi, you saw he missed that penalty kick? I laugh. I have to laugh at this because this is all Messi's doing. So, you know, that's all. And it's amazing because outside of the border of South Florida, he'll be known as the greatest player, one of the 3 greatest players and all of that. But here in South Florida sports history, Messi is known as a freaking disaster and a choker and a Vinny Testaverde-like choker. Yeah. Dude, you want control of the team, right? It's your general manager. It's your head coach. It's your players. It's your, I don't know what she says in that, but you know what I'm saying? So Missy's like doing backwards talking. I don't know what it is. So it's your show, Leo. All right. So I'm going to judge you that way. And you're nothing but a stinking choker. So they lost to Atlanta as the number 1 seed last year after, kicking ass. And they choke in the playoffs. Now they're on the brink of not making the playoffs, which would be freaking hilarious. Because the worst thing for them would be to be a low seed and have to play the top teams, because anybody that's watched the league and watched the team, they suck, dude, against the top teams. The top teams dominate their ass. Orlando gave away a win in the League's Cup, which made no sense whatsoever. Like, that's some of the worst coaching I've ever seen what Orlando did and gave away that game. Let's see. Big O, I have done my research. You're right. In order for McDaniel to stay committed to the run, the runner must average 11 yards a carry. If not, he sees it's not working. Exactly. And Ali averaging 8 yards, just not enough. Just not enough. Let's see. Greer got some Epstein files or something. Big O, can you give a blind-ass fan of Billy Batson? He says Gruden is a better choice. Oh, God, Gruden is terrible. Terrible. I've explained it many times. That one was just that's just they're all falling for the PR stuff now and social media and his stupid little show and all that. So that's why people fall for it, but they don't really understand what really happened in Tampa. And so, yeah, no. I'm not in I think the Gruden one would be a huge mistake. As I tell everybody that likes Gruden, if he's such a quarterback guru, how come he never has drafted one and developed one himself? I mean, if you're known as that, like, I can call Andy Reid that. I can't call him that. I at least I can respect Kevin O'Connell. because, man, he gets the best out of all of his quarterbacks. That's what he's proven. We'll see if he can get J.J. McCarthy going. That was funny last night, by the way. And so, but I haven't seen that from Mike McDaniel. And John Gruden, who's known as Mr. QB, has never drafted his own QB and developed his own QB. So, by the way, has, outside of Tua, we haven't done it here either since Marino. So the guy that's never done it is the guy you want to hire? That's hilarious. I mean, funny. The guy that's never done it is the guy you want to hire. But believe all the hype you want. Why don't you go with the facts? Facts are he's never ever drafted one and developed one of his own, ever. So, anyway, I don't want anybody yet scrotums until I find out that it happens and who's available and all that. I'm not getting into any of that stuff. The only thing I'll get into is right here, right now, interim. Get rid of him and put in Weaver. That's all. That's as far as I'll go because that's reality. Okay, that needs to happen right now. But outside of that, until it really happens, then we'll really get into it. But the only hypothetical I'll get into is just slide Weaver in right now. Name Slovic the defensive coordinator and keep Bevel as the OC. And that's it. That's what I would do. Ray says the worst part for Inter is the team they lost to in the playoffs last year got eliminated from playoff contention this year, making that loss look 10 times worse. I know. They were the worst team in the playoffs last year. Atlanta. They were like lucky to barely get in last year. And then they go and eliminate Miami. What a joke, Messi. Seriously, with all that hype and all that bullshit, what a freaking joke, dude. Anyway, I wish the NFL would increase the time to get a play into 10 minutes so McDaniel might, Brett, that's a great idea. We should actually petition the league for 10-minute plays. So that way McDaniel has time to and ah about it and talk and all that. Yeah. Does Tua repeat the play call that he sent in with the ums and the ahs? Red right 42 right left slant on 7. Anyway. Let's see. Dr. Quit says, I like how people are mad Tua ran out of bounds for a couple times, but that's literally what we've been wanting him to do. Yeah, I know, for 4 years. Well, what do you want to do? Take on contact? But I think what they're saying is he should have thrown it away. So that way you throw it past the line of scrimmage, you don't take the sack, is what it is. Because if you run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, it becomes a team sack. So that's kind of what it is. And then you can't blame the line for that. So I think it's more about that for people than it's not so much taking on the contact, it's running out of bounds. At least for me, that would be my issue with that. I would have rather you throw it away, instead of losing yards and taking a loss. What else do we have? Big O, do you think the reason why Greer and McDaniel still have a job is because no, it has nothing to do with it. The Brian Flores case is nothing, dude. That's garbage. Miami has nothing to do with the Brian Flores case. He's calling racism. Miami has nothing to do with racism. But far from it, dude. Miami is Stephen Ross has the most inclusive team out there. So yeah, that has nothing to do with it. The Dolphins have nothing to worry about with the Flores press conference. I mean, what's it called? The Flores lawsuit. Ray, sweet baby Ray, thank you for the love on Cash App. He says for Malik had 3 carries versus OG's 1 carry, right? There's a Napoleon complex, Ray, to this offense. It's run by Napoleon, so he is. Oh no, Ollie. No, he's too big. No. Let me use another short guy in Malik. And God bless Malik, dude. You know, I mean, he did well. Don't get me wrong. What was his numbers? 3 for 23. He had an 18-yard run, but then the other 2, he averaged 5 yards, 2.5 yards for the other 2 carries. So it's like you get your 1 run with Achane and Malik, and then you get intoxicated and you think you're going to keep doing it, but yet Ollie Gordon gives you 1 for 8 and you don't use him. And he can punish people. Ray, I can't explain anything this stupid man does. I just can't. I can't. Jonathan Wilkerson, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your generosity. I have gave up on this coach and QB after 2022. Oh, there you go. There you go. And again, I get it, man. Nothing's working. So you guys want to give up on the owner, on the GM, on the head coach, on the quarterback. I mean, it's open season. It is what it is, unfortunately. By the way, where is Bitcoin? We are at 114,547. All right. And by the way, R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike, great people. 305-345-3649. We're going to have some inflation numbers coming. Things are getting worse. Wages are down. Inflation is up. Unemployment is up. Real weekly wages are down. And inflation is going up. And we're losing jobs and inflation is going up. So stagflation is setting in. Strategy today, by the way, bought 525 Bitcoin for 60 million. Only a 60 million purchase today. Not a $500 million or $1 billion. Just 60 million. At 114,562 per coin. They now own 638,985 Bitcoin. Can I just get one? Can I get half of one? Anyway, they own 47.23 billion and at an average of 73,913 per coin. All right, right now we got a little bit of a low. We were hanging around the 115, 116 area. We're at 114 something, which also has hurt all coins too, and that's because they're waiting for the numbers to come out. There is $7.5 trillion sitting in money markets right now. That money will be moving into assets in a very short amount of time. The feds are going to cut now this week. They're going to cut next month again. They're going to cut 3 times over this next couple of months. That money will start moving in, and it's going to go into Bitcoin. It's going to go into gold. It's going to go into some stocks. They know that the money is dying, and so the dollar is dying. This is not financial advice. Never has been. Not that I'm a financial advisor at any time. Never have been. But brace yourselves. Buckle up. Those of you that are invested, you are going to love what's about to happen, baby, because we are about to rocket past 130, 140, and it's going to happen very, very shortly. So enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen, because Bitcoin will gain power with a strong economy, but it will multiply to another dimension as the economy gets worse. And that's exactly what's happening now under Trump with all the tariffs, everything happening, the immigration, how that's killing the employment side of it. This is bad, dude, bad. And real weekly wages are headed downward. That's scary. And inflation is headed up. This is bad. So Get the Bitcoin. It's the only thing that grows. Your money's going to die. You're going to buy less with money and buy more with Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. And we thank our friends at R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, waterproofing your terrace, your balcony, whether it's a condo or a home. Please call Ray or Mike. And if you want to see how exceptional their work is, whether you want to build a sauna, you want to build a pool deck, whatever it is you want to build a home, you want to build a second floor, whatever, go to the Instagram page at RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island on Instagram, and you will see some amazing work there by Ray and Mike. All right. Peter J. Finfan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, McD's problem, he's still failing forward fast. Yeah. He is a stud at that now. You know. Plank Killer says, we have a Super Bowl winning OC on this team, and no one in management storms into Mike's office and insists Bevel take over the calls like they try to save the QB from himself. Do same with the head coach. I'm with you, Plank Killer. I would name Weaver my head coach and put Bevo as my OC. That's what I would do right now. Even on a short week. I don't believe this is an impossible game to win pretty much, right? Well, if you make the switch to Weaver, I don't know, maybe crazy shit. You come up with a hell of a game, you lose, but you play a great game and it builds maybe a little momentum or something, or crazy enough, you win. But with this guy, you instill no confidence. I mean, 4 years in, you still can't line up. You can't get a play in. 4 years in. And, we need to talk about it. No, we don't need to talk about it, bro. The talking time is done. It's like ridiculous. Iceman says Greer would be number one witness and could turn on the Dolphins. Remember, Flores claims Dolphins paid him $100K per loss, and Stephen Ross pressured him to pursue a prominent QB. Greer could leak everything. Iceman, Greer hired him, and then he screwed Greer over and McKenzie and Allen. He went behind their backs. He wanted to strip the power and personnel and all that. Dude, he was a divisive dude. Those three guys can't stand Brian Flores. So listen, man, if you guys want to make shit up, I get it, but take it from somebody that actually has insight instead of, the buffoonery shit that you're coming up with. Okay? Sorry, dude, but I'm going to be brutally honest here. What you're coming up with makes no sense. And so just, bro, that's crazy talk. Okay? So I'm doing you a favor. Nobody knows who you are. Okay? So while you go out in public, and don't say shit like that. Don't. It's embarrassing. Evie CD, I see Adam Gase name written all over this team. It seems to be the same team when Gase. That's a great point. There's a lot of the same malaise. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, they're not exactly the same coach, but the same kind of issues. Lack of respect, lack of direction, unorganized. Yeah, all that kind of shit. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I like that, Evie. That one's good. Dolphin Dave, I would like to see Tua call his own plays. Forget about that. Ego won't let him. No, he'd rather send in the play with 6 seconds left so the QB has no choice. And he lines up and he looks at the front and goes like, damn, this guy called something that's not going to work here. That's what you live with. No QB will succeed with Mike McDaniel. No QB. None whatsoever. In fact, Tua will never succeed here, period. I'm with the Tua haters now for different reasons. Like I said in the postgame show, I want Tua to go somewhere else where maybe they actually know how to coach. And, they'll give him a running game and an offensive line, and then he'll be a completely different player. But here, they're destroying the kid. That's all they're doing. They're destroying the kid. So, That's all. What else do we have? I'm really saying that the Tua Fitz magic combo was working for them, but they didn't stick with it. Nothing with Fitz works, my brother. Fitz is a loser. He's just a fun guy and all that. He never won anywhere he went. That's all just a whole bunch of hot air. He's a good dude. You get a couple games, but he'll be Fitzpatrick like what he is, dude. And you don't win with two quarterbacks. You don't win if you don't run and block. It has nothing to do with Fitz. Has nothing to do. It's the same problem with Marino for 45 years. You don't run the ball and you don't block. And because you don't have an attitude like that, you'll never win anything in the NFL. So, Big O, why can't someone in upper management take away McDaniel's call duties? So frustrating to watch every Sunday. The same problem with this coach. I agree. Why can't they even fire the guy? Yeah, this is ridiculous. What's going on? But I kind of told you we had to go through this dog and pony show so they can have cause to fire him because they gave him that stupid extension. And they realized in the offseason they made a mistake with that extension. No matter what they tell you in public, behind the scenes, they know that they were going into a very, very uneasy season. And here it is. Here it is. What else? Steven says, Big O is siding with the Tua haters. Damn. Well, just for Tua's purposes. Like, I want him to go to another team that actually will run the ball and protect. You know, it's the only way we'll be able to prove whether he can do it or not, because you're not going to be able to win here. You just don't have it here. They refuse to do what they want, what they need to do here. And the kid is not, you know, made of iron. He can't take the beating that Andrew Luck took. You know what I'm saying? Look at Joe Burrow. You know, it's turf toe, but that comes from you trying to scramble and run away because your offensive line sucks. And there's a cheap team that doesn't pay for the offensive line, and then that guy gets injured all the time. More than Tua. Joe Burrow's more injury prone than Tua. And we lose because we can't lose great players, dude. It's no fun. Sucks. We lost Andrew Luck. Like, that's ridiculous, man, because you don't protect them. You don't protect Andrew Luck. You don't protect Joe Burrow. And then Tua is half the size of those guys, and you don't protect him either. It's just asinine, dude. Asinine. People don't understand the what you have to do in football. You know, you just don't. Look, Mahomes, he's phenomenal, and he's taking a beating. And that's happened to him in the past. When the offensive line isn't up to snuff, he can only do so much, and he's a freak. Tua's not like him. He's more like Breeze. He's not going to win with athleticism, but he can only do so much if you don't do your part. And that's what happens, you know? And we had a freak in Marino, and he can only do so much if you don't do your part. All quarterbacks need help at one point or another. And if you go look at the Colts with Luck, you look at Cincinnati now with Burrow, and you look at Tua now with the Dolphins, they don't protect the quarterback, dude. It's amazing. It's really amazing how you just don't protect the quarterback. So, anyway, why was Tyler Warren not drafted after not restructuring Tua's contract? Well, you don't want to restructure Tua's contract because then you would have to keep him longer than after next season. So that doesn't work, Lofi. That doesn't make any sense. The tight end stuff, at that moment, they thought Jonnu Smith was fine. And then Jonnu Smith realized, oh, shit, I'm going to be 31. I don't have a future after this next year. They got me at a really cheap number. I need a contract. And then that was way after the draft. So at that time, they were trying to move forward and fiscally trying to control things, and they needed help at defensive tackle and guard. So those were positions of need. It's not like they weren't. So they thought they had the tight end position filled because they made a great deal. You know, let's also not skip the part that the Dolphins made a great contract with Jonnu Smith. It was a steal of a contract. And since Drew Rosenhaus negotiated a shitty contract and now is looking bad, he had to try to find some money, and they don't know if McDaniel's around for next year. So they didn't want to pay Jonnu after this season because he was only paid through this season. They weren't going to extend it. So it's just all, whatever. And in the end, does he throw to the tight end? He may not even throw to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren may have like 4 catches in the first 2 weeks under this moron. God, this guy's dumb. Seriously. Reggie Baptist says, with how bad the Dolphins are playing right now, watch how they will pull out a win in Buffalo. No, don't start with that. No, don't start with that, bro. That's not going to happen. Okay. Lots of Dolphin fans, a ton of Dolphin fans are saying, oh, everybody's underestimating the Dolphins. This is when they'll play well. No, they won't. No, they won't. Go look at the roster. It's not a good roster. It's a very thin roster, and it's a terrible head coach. That's the part that I don't know how so many of you overlook Mike McDaniel. Why would you think you're a playoff team and win playoff games with Mike McDaniel? I don't really understand that one. Fitzy is a good fit for vibe, but it's not going to get you anywhere, dude. It's just not going to get you anywhere. It's a nice, fun vibe, but it's nothing, dude. It's not. We only felt it because we're a scrub team. If you're a championship type team, you don't need Fitzpatrick on your team because he's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a guy that wanted to start because this is a mediocre team. So he felt he should be a starter. If it's a really good team, he can't demand to want to start. Yeah, you got to move on, bro. Turn the page. Let it go. Let it go. We can't be nostalgic about some of these things. You know what I'm saying? We have too much nostalgia about mediocrity. Fitzpatrick, the Miracle in the Meadowlands, and not the Miracle. What is it? The Miracle in Miami. We have affinity to the stupid catch by the receiver against Baltimore to avoid the winless season and all that. Like, we hang on to mediocre shit, dude. That we didn't accomplish anything there. Nothing was accomplished there. You didn't win anything significant. And that's how bad our history is, that those are the moments of memories now. There's not championships anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. It's bad. We need to change this, bro. Big time. I could see Tua going to a team like the Rams and having success with Sean McVay. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I hope happens to him now, because here he will die. Here they will break him. Here they will waste him out, and he will not get that opportunity. So they can't trade him. They're stuck with him, and he can't demand the trade because they can't get rid of him. So they're stuck with him next year also. But after that, you can, if they haven't figured out how to use him, if I'm him, I'm dying to get out. I'm dying to get out and go somewhere where they actually will coach up a real team, because we refused to do it for 45 years. We refused to block and we refused to run. And if that's how we're going to be, well, then, that's how it's going to go. So it is what it is. You never know with Ewers. No, that's stupid. No quarterback's going to win here. None. No quarterback. What'd you win with Marino? Well, where are the championships? All the Super Bowl trips. What'd you win? Ewers better than him? Let's continue with stupid shit. By the way, Kane's wear, Sergei Bobrovsky, this month on the 21st, will be signing autographs at Kane's wear, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. So get on down there. They got a ton of Panther stuff and Panther Championship stuff. 11:30 to 1 p.m. for Sergei Bobrovsky. And then in October, Matthew Tkachuk will be there on October 8th, and it'll be on a Wednesday, 6 to 7:15 p.m. And don't forget to use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear, either at caneswear.com, online. And by the way, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So tell them that Big O sent you. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little basketball with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Ira, how are you doing, sir? You doing
I'm doing good. The rare appearance from Mom's house because today's cleaning day. So anyone out there listening on the Acura Pembroke Pines report who wants to come help clean Mom's house, feel free to come over after the show. Wait, if you think I'm kidding, hold on for a sec.
No, I see it. I see it.
No, and here's my cleaning supplies. I'm not kidding, folks. So what we do for our parents.
Hey, man, we've only got one set. You know what I'm saying? So, they brought us into the world. We got to do whatever we can for them.
Right. So therefore, for the rare time, instead of my usual background at home, artwork of which behind me, I have no idea why it is here, but Mom likes it. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, my brother. All right. So, injury-wise, everybody come clean from Euro basketball, it seems, right? Overall, pretty good?
Yeah, overall, it looks that way. I mean, you had, Pelle Larsson had to push himself because Sweden, not that good, but he really showed who he is and what we thought he was as a human bowling ball. So he'll get the bumps and bruises, but that's the kind of player he is. Niko Jovic showed he could be a number 2 on a quality team behind Nikola Jokic. So you have that going on for you. And Fontecchio showed, hey, I might be 30-ish, but I still have some basketball in me. So that's another good thing. And the rest of the guys have sort of come in and any injury concerns before. I mean, it looks like unlike the Dolphins, the way they went through camp, the Heat will start camp healthy. And it's the same question 2 weeks from today when we have media day. Will they start camp good enough? I've heard your ranting and I've seen, your social media. Nothing about the Dolphins is a shock. In many ways, they are who we thought they were.
Exactly.
The concern with the Heat, are they who we think they are? And if they are, look, the Dolphins look like a team that could be pretty bad this year. They've been pretty bad this year. The Heat look like a team that could be pretty mediocre this year. Here's the difference. You have your buddy Mike McDaniel on that side. The Heat have Eric Spoelstra on this side. So I think if you give the two equal talent, Big O, I think you would agree that Eric Spoelstra can do more with equal talent at this point, 17 years in his career, than Mike McDaniel 4 years in. That's the difference. It's what you've been saying to me for weeks. Eric Spoelstra.
Must we insult Eric Spoelstra by putting him next to Mike McDaniel? I mean,
Except Eric is such a good guy that you remember a couple of years ago on Halloween, he trick-or-treated as Mike McDaniel. Eric Spoelstra has great respect for the profession. And if the Dolphins were to let Mike McDaniel go after Thursday's game in Buffalo, I am sure Eric Spoelstra will come out, fingers crossed for those only listening by this Big O, not me. If Mike McDaniel were to be let go or during the long off week after that, I'm sure Eric Spoelstra would say all the right things. You've got to be given a chance. You've got to be given the right talent. You have to be positioned to win. Coaches are a fraternity. I can't recall, maybe you can, Big O, a coach ever coming out and saying firing another coach was a good move.
No.
Maybe there are rivalries in college football that I'm missing or something, but coaches just don't do that. But I also think it's a little bit gratuitous by coaches because let's look at this. Eric Spoelstra is a coach, believes in more than anything preparation. The Heat might not have the talent, but the Heat don't come out after a lengthy video review and have a delay of game penalty. Eric Spoelstra gets his plays in a sport where there's no stoppage. Now, they might not run the play the right way. They might not have the talent to execute the play. But if Eric Spoelstra goes 2 out, they are running 2 out. And if Eric Spoelstra sees his team at full speed coming across midcourt, sizes up the other defense, and says, let's run some floppy action, it's because he knows in real time what to do. Look, 30 seconds, the amount of time between plays in the NFL, if not more. If you can't get that part of the game down, to me, and maybe you disagree, maybe you've discussed this, that's a fireable offense. If the Heat come out of a timeout, and we've seen this at times, and they don't run the play, that goes back to the coach and preparation, getting his players on the same page. So,
and 95% of the time coming out of a timeout, Eric Spoelstra and his team score on the play. Not only just
line out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, SOBs, BOBs is as good as most coaches. There are some better, but as good as most coaches. I agree. The most infuriating thing to me is when you come out of a timeout and you don't execute. Now, sometimes Eric Spoelstra, like Pat Riley, will stomp his feet because for whatever reason, player X is on the wrong side, up here. It matters up here also. But you know what? Think about this. Eric Spoelstra sends 5 players out on the floor. For whatever reason, Niko Jovic isn't in the right place. You say, okay, he's not Bam, he's not Tyler, he's not a prime guy. But when Tua is unsure of what to do, he's the brain of the engine in that huddle. He just is. And I would never demean or diminish someone because I think in sports, I've learned this, Big O, in my 3 decades covering the Heat. You don't need to have a physics IQ to have a sports IQ. And I remember Hubie Brown once told me a story about he had a player on his team in Atlanta who was dumb as you can come out with whatever word you want to come, but in basketball, he knew what to do. So he might not be able to, what reminded me of that? Rod Strickland used to get lost at Kaseya Center. He literally, when practice was done, he'd be wandering the halls, not knowing where to go. But on the court, he was a maestro when it came to playmaking and came to assists. So when I watch the Dolphins, I say to myself, you can't have the equivalent of your point guard, of your floor general being so uncertain because Big O, that permeates. 2 things permeate sports that the Dolphins, as you've been mentioning, are the perfect example. Number 1, your coach has to coach from a position where there is blind faith. Eric Spoelstra will lead us the right way. Pat Riley will lead us the right way.
Of course.
Mike McDaniels will lead you the right way. Mike McDaniel will lead the right way. That's number 1. Number 2, our floor general will lead us the right way. Now, there have been Heat issues with that. Without having a pure point guard, you and I have spoken about it. God bless Tyler Hero, but point guard is innate. You're born as a point guard. We've seen the great point guards, the Chris Pauls, the Gary Paytons, the players who know where to get the ball and what to do. When the Heat have had a great point guard, and I got to tell you, because I know you didn't like that trade, but I think you'd agree with me. The first year that Kyle Lowry was with the Heat, the first year, you saw a guy and you say, he knows how to get a team into offense. He knows how to run the floor.
Yeah.
And every other of the 14 players under standard contract on that floor had total faith. If Kyle Lowry said, you go there, you go there, I'll get the ball there. Every player said, all my faith in this guy, he knows. Right. When Tua breaks the huddle, let me ask you this, Big O, because you're a football savant. When Tua breaks the huddle, do you think Tyreek Hill says, man, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm going to run this route exactly as I should because the ball is going to be on time, on target. That's the thing. Yep. So you know what the Miami Dolphins are lacking? A true point guard.
Well, I think they're lacking structure and leadership overall because your point guard can't have structure if you don't know how to run the whole thing. Like there is no running game for the Dolphins. Without that, a guy like Tua cannot survive. You could get away with this freak, you know?
Yes, exactly.
But you won't win, but you could get away with it. But you won't win.
With that freak, with Dan Marino, when Dan didn't have a running game, you remember how bad it was when it was the Mark brothers or bust. Those were the lean years, right?
Yeah, no, but they never had a running game, and that's always like what they had to count on. It's like with LeBron, you can get away with more things than you could with a regular star or an all-star. You know, that's why when he would go to Cleveland, he would still get to the conference finals or the finals because the conference wasn't as strong and he was so much better than everybody else. He makes a difference. Now, If you get that lesser superstar, a Tracy McGrady, who's fantastic, but is not LeBron, you're not going to be carried the same way. You know what I mean? And if you get an all-star type of point guard, okay, you want to win a championship. I'm trying to think of a championship point guard.
You know what? Can I interrupt you? I'm going to give you a name based on what I watched in Eurobasket yesterday. Dennis Schroeder, for what he did for Germany, showed he could run a team. But we've seen in the NBA, it takes more than Dennis Schroeder to run a team. Here's the word you're looking for. You need a savant. When you get a basketball savant, who are the basketball savants? LeBron James. Right. Steph Curry, not a pure point guard, but he knows where to get your players. You win with those type of players. That's what makes a difference. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might be getting there. We saw OKC's victory. So here's the deal. When I watched the national championship game and I watched
football, it's not like that. In football,
I got to tell you why I disagree. Because when I watched Tua come in for Jalen Hurts in the national championship game, for a moment, and maybe I was fooled, and maybe you were fooled, and maybe Stephen Ross was fooled, and maybe Mike McDaniel was fooled. But in that game, I thought I saw a savant with Tua. When he came in the second half for Alabama and led him to the championship, in that moment, I saw it. But you know what I was thinking of last night also when I was done?
But Ira, Saban isn't on the sidelines here in Miami. It was
what I was going to say.
McDaniel. A real offensive line isn't here in Miami, and a real running game isn't here in Miami. That's what he had in Alabama. That's the only way he succeeds. You cannot succeed with a guy like Tua, like a Breeze type player, a Bob Greasy type player, without blocking and running. These are smart guys. They're really accurate, but they're not going to carry your offense. They can't play the Cam Newton role. They can't go out and be Josh Allen. That's not who they are. You have to do your job, and Miami doesn't do their job.
Yeah, and you're talking about my equivalency.
You're not complimenting this guy the way you're supposed to.
And my equivalency would be the Miami Heat realizing after the first year of the Big Three, we needed more. So what did they do? Shane Battier, Ray Allen, Chris Birdman Anderson. You realize you needed more. But here's something that's interesting also. Eric Spoelstra has never been tied to one player as you have to make it work with this player. And the perfect example was Jimmy Butler, when they just realized it was untenable. I was thinking about this last night when the Dolphins game was done, and I was rethinking about Tua's mistakes and equivalency. You remember this. Remember when Mike McDaniel was flown down here, how they showed on the plane on Dolphins social media, he had Tua on the phone. And he said, buddy, I'm going to make it work with you. When you tie and hitch your wagon to one specific player, you sink or swim with that player. Eric Spoelstra has won with Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and honestly, to a lesser but still successful degree, Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler. Because he has been able to go to management and go, not this guy now or this guy left. But the whole thing about when McDaniel came down was this. I'm on the phone with Tua on the plane. Buddy, your previous coach was a buffoon and didn't know how to use you. I'm going to show people how to use you. So I agree. They are absolutely tied at the hip that if you're going to give up on Tua or give up on McDaniel, you're basically giving up on both. That's the difference with the Heat. You may say, and I've seen this a lot this offseason, Big O, we've spoken about it in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Some people might think Eric Spoelstra is getting stale. Some people might think there's a need for a change. But Eric Spoelstra has evolved and changed with the times as he's needed. Dwayne Wade got older. He did, God bless him. You had to move on. LeBron wanted to leave. It happens. Chris Bosh got blood clots. We'll do the next step. Goran lost his step. Kyle Lowry lost his step. We'll make a deal. Jimmy Butler acted like an a-hole. We'll move on from that. That's why I'm curious what's next. But what I don't lack is this. I have faith that Eric Spoelstra will take his in and make more out of his in than any other coach would. So that gives me faith. I'm not as sure. You know this. You're the football savant. I'm not so sure what his in you give Mike McDaniel next that I could say, okay, but if you give Mike McDaniel a running game and if you give him veteran offensive linemen who don't get hurt because they're too old, this guy is a championship level coach. Has anything convinced you of that possibly being the case with Mike McDaniel?
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's why I think that I would have already made the change, but I guess because of the short week, they just want to hang in there. But I would have already made the change and put Weaver in place. To me, it's
you know what? It's like Stephen Ross is sitting there on Tinder and he keeps swiping, trying to find something else and it's time to start swiping and see something else. Now, the question is, will the Buffalo game, maybe you have an outlier and something happens and you buy more time. That's the case. But my thing with a coach after X amount of time is you have to say, is this coach good enough for this situation with these players? You've started since the start of the season about tearing down both the Dolphins and the Heat. And what you said every single week in our Acura Pembroke Pines is, but the problem is Eric Spoelstra is such a good coach that he will take his meh and make it mediocre. Mike McDaniel has his meh, hasn't gotten to mediocrity. Is probably going to lose to Buffalo, would have to win 3 in a row just to get to 3-3. He's chasing the mediocrity that you and I are tired of from the Heat, the play-in mediocrity. And yet, the best upside for the Miami Heat, because all the wild card teams go on the road, the best upside for the Miami Dolphins rather, would be a road playoff game. That's as good as it's going to get. When are we going to see the next Dolphins home playoff game?
I don't even know. I don't even know if I'll be around to witness that. That's how bad it is. All right, so let me ask you, on the Heat side, we've talked a lot about Tyler and Bam and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But as the season goes on, when it starts, I think like their play is to, their peak maybe might be like, hey, if we could be in a play-in team and then try to surprise and sneak in,
slightly above. Let's all shoot for 6th place, folks.
Yeah, or the 6th seed or whatever. That's fine. But if you're not on that pace by the trading deadline, are you looking to move Wiggins or Powell or both of those kind of cats? Because those cats might be in demand by a playoff team at that point. Okay, if you want to stick with Tyler and Bam and all that, we've had that conversation. Do you think Wiggins and Powell are long-term players, or are these guys that could be moved if they're not in playoff contention by the trading deadline?
I'm going to go a little different way, but please don't aggregate out here. I think the difference is Wiggins has another year as a player option after the season, and that could be a fear of the Heat. I don't want to say being stuck with it, because let's not prejudge. He might be pretty good. Where Norman Powell can just expire if there's no extension. So I'm going to go opposite of what I've said, and you and I have talked about on our Acura Pembroke Pines report. If Tyler Hero does not get an extension in his window from October 1st to October 30th, we're about a month away from finding that out, and the Heat are mediocre or bad, Tyler Hero is probably the name I would put in play. If not at the trade deadline, then after, for this reason. You're already talking about someone who has 2 more years left on his contract. Then you're extending for at least 3 more years on the other end of it. You're really locking yourself in. The beauty of Norman Powell is, who did you give up for Norman Powell? Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love. God bless them. Good guys. Nothing. Flotsam and Jetsam. So if Norman Powell just walks away, gave nothing, got nothing, move on. Well, the Wiggins thing, if I have to, whether they're going to have cap space or not, and I know Barry Jackson and others have debated whether they can or can't, I don't want to pay a guy $30 million next year if he doesn't help or prove that he's part of the solution for this team. So if you're asking me, what's interesting? If you're asking me, Ira, who might be available at the trade deadline or after the season, and I know you don't love him, and I know you don't think of him as a number 1. And I spoke to an NBA scout last week, and I told the scout I thought he was at least a number 2. And the scout told me he thought he's a good number 3. But Bam Adebayo is so unique as part of my team. HN, like for example, if you're breaking up the Dolphins, you would keep him, correct?
Hell yeah.
Okay, and why? Now
but he would be my lightning, not my thunder. Like this.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be your alpha, he wouldn't be your beta, but he'd be a component. I think Bam Adebayo is a wonderful component. So what I'm saying is, I would work around him. I wouldn't cast him as my leading man. I might not cast him as my number 2, but I'm really confident if I have him on my team because of defensive versatility that he can compensate for other guys lacking. But honestly, this is not for aggregating. I don't want to hear the Big O show and the Acura Pembroke Pines report. And Ira Winderman said, but anyone beyond Bam Adebayo, if you call me and the price is right, we could debate next week and then a media day what the right price would be. Yeah, I would sell anyone and everyone like Big O has been begging for the last 3 or 4 months. But if you're giving me that difference there of February 7th or 8th, the trading deadline, and I can wait and see, thank you, Big O. Because then I'll know about Wiggins, I'll know about Powell, I'll know about Hero, I'll know about anyone else I need to know about, including Jaquez and Jovic and other guys who are extension eligible. So I would say yes. I would say that everyone else beyond Bam Adebayo should probably be renting instead of owning right now. Of course, in their salary stratosphere, they can. But that's the difference. So, yeah, I would say Wiggins, if it doesn't work out, goodbye. Powell, if it doesn't work out, goodbye. Tyler Hero, if the talks in October show that he's at $50 million and the Heat are at $32 million and it's too much of a gap to bridge, then I'd say, Tyler, what you've done here has been wonderful. You've been a value pick where you were taken at the end of the lottery. But if we're going to commit $50 million, think about this, Big O. We wouldn't do it last year to Jimmy Butler, who led us to 2 NBA finals. You've just been part of those teams, not a leader, so we can move forward. So, yeah, I would say that everyone on the Heat beyond Bam Adebayo was probably playing to see if they'll be back with this team. And you know what? That's the right approach.
What are you working on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Well, you know, I wrote my Sunday column about Andrew Wiggins and what you said. I need to know if he fits or not, but I don't want to sell right away. The rumored trade out there by The Athletic was for Dalton Connect and Rui Hachimura, and that's just taking pieces and fitting in other pieces. Now, if you offer me one of the Lakers' future first-round picks, 31 or 32, and they could really suck because LeBron James has to retire by then. He'll be 67 years old, where Luka Doncic might realize, like LeBron and others, the Lakers aren't the be-all, end-all right now, and maybe he moves on or peters out. Those picks could be valuable. So right now, if the Lakers offer me salary cap filler, Connect, and Rui Hachimura, I say, cycle back to us if you want. If they offer those two and a future first-round pick, I call him Mr. Ellisberg. I call in 2 Harrisons, Nick and Mickey. I sit there with Adam Simon and Pat Riley, and I'm saying we have to consider the future because Big O every week on the Acura Pembroke Pines report said we have to do this. They probably call you Big O, even if it's just a Skype session, bring you in there also. Yeah, if you can get a future first-round pick for Andrew Wiggins, God bless you. We loved you, Mr. Wiggins, and then you move on from there.
It's a beautiful thing. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel.
Anyone who wants to clean, feel free to come over.
Or you can help Ira clean there too at the same time. As always, Ira, thank you, my brother. We will catch up next week, my friend.
Next week, 1 week from Media Day, it gets real, and then you'll tell me who the Dolphins coach is a week from today. Thanks, Big O.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Ira Winderman. And, of course, our friends at Acura Pembroke Pines, they make it happen every single week. We've got the happy new model year going on right now. The ADX, beautiful sedan, $299 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 Integra, $299 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, my wife has been driving one for 15 years, man. I'm going to get her a new one next year. The RDX right now, 2025 model, $419 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Knowing her, she might just get an RDX again because this one's been so good to her. And telling you, man, she beat that thing up. And the ZDX, you know, we still have the Type S 2024 models, and you can get the $7,500 tax break, which, by the way, is going away. So whenever you're going to buy an electric car, you're going to end up buying it for $7,500 more in the future. Things are getting expensive. Anyway, go there, save your money. $459 a month right now, 0% financing for 72 months. Acuras are built here in the U.S., so you avoid the tariffs too. Go see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the great people out there getting it done at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. And if you own or lease an Acura, you can also get it serviced there too at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Go see Mike Chen and Jordan Ferber. They do excellent work there. I've known them for years, man. They've been with us for 14 years now on the show, man. It's amazing. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. Don't forget, as always, hit the like button if you can there. Smash that like button. We appreciate it. You can make the donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Of course, you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, which we always appreciate that. Where is Bitcoin right now? Are we messing around with 114, 115? We're at 114,732. All right, I like it. Let's do a little music real quick here. All right. We always do that here on the show. Let's get to it real quick before we get to the top of the hour. All right. Let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays today on the 15th. All right. We start off with Michael Dorge, born in 1960 from Crash Test Dummies. Let's see who else is celebrating a birthday today. Lee Dorman, born in 42 from Iron Butterfly. It is a thin list today when it comes to musicians, man. All right, let's go with famous people. You guys know the drill. If I don't say the age, they are no longer with us, unfortunately. Explorer Marco Polo, born in 1254. We just lost him. We made up that game in the pool, and then we just lost Marco Polo. It's amazing. It really is. Comedian Nipsey Russell, born in 1918. Comedian Norm Crosby, born in 1927. Hall of Famer, baseball Hall of Famer, Gaylord Perry, born in 1938. Hall of Fame member, footballer, and actor, Merlin Olsen, born in 1940. Let's see who else. Filmmaker Oliver Stone, born in 46. He is 79 today. Actor Tommy Lee Jones, born in 46. He is 79 today. Dan Marino, celebrating a birthday today, born in 61. He is 64. DJ KG from Naughty by Nature, born in 69. He is 56. Actor Tom Hardy, born in 77. He's 48. Zach Filkins from One Republic, born in 78. He's 47. Actor Amy Davidson, she was born in 79. She's 46. Comedian actor Ben Schwartz, born in 81. He's 44. Actor Chelsea Kane, born in 88, 37 years old today. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do we have wrestlers born on this date?
Sir, we do. Adrian Adonis was born on this date in 1953. Rhett Titus, he turns 38. Samantha Starr is 33. And we're going one-on-one with The Undertaker today. Teddy Long, he turns 78 on September 15th, 2025.
All right, love it. All right, let's move over to music history. What happened today in music history? Well, in 1956, Elvis Presley started a 5-week run on the #1 spot on the charts with Don't Be Cruel to a Heart That's True. By the way, it sold 6 million copies by 1961. That's impressive back in those days. In 62, the Four Seasons started a 5-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Sherry. In 68, the Doors were forced to perform as a trio at a concert in Amsterdam after singer Jim Morrison collapsed while dancing during Jefferson Airplane's performance. He might have been taking a little bit too much of White Rabbit. In 79, Led Zeppelin scored their 6th U.S. #1 album, and In Through the Outdoor, it started a 7-week run at the top of the charts. In 80, David Bowie opened up in Broadway as the Elephant Man. In 88, Mark Knopfler announces that Dire Straits has disbanded. He reforms the group in 91. In 2003, Madonna's first children's book is published in 42 languages in more than 100 countries. The release of The English Roses by Callaway Editions and Penguin Group. I had no idea Madonna wrote children's books. And I don't know if I want to read a book from Madonna for my kids. I don't know. It's just kind of odd. Kid Cudi in 2009 released his debut album, Man on the Moon. The End of the Day contributors included Kanye West, Common, MGMT, and the first single was Day and Night. In 2010, in Toronto, Roger Waters begins the Wall Live Tour, a new production of the show he made famous with Pink Floyd in 1980. In 2017, the Foo Fighters released their 9th studio album, Concrete and Gold, and it features the singles Run, The Sky is a Neighbor, and The Line. And today, in 2019, the Cars' Rick Ocasek passed away at the age of 75, and Tito Jackson from the Jacksons passed away at the age of 70 in 2024. That's what happened today in music history. All right. All right, let's rock and roll. Hour number 3 of the program. And, you know, over the weekend, we had a nice performance by the Fort Lauderdale United. A nice win, 4-1 over Dallas Trinity FC at Beyond Bankcard Field. Kelly Van Treek is kind enough to join us now on the program to talk a little bit about that victory. How you feeling, Kelly? How you feel? You're feeling like a winner right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Super excited. It was an awesome win. Team win from top to bottom. We dominated, so it's exciting.
Fun getting a brace in a game, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
You get a brace and a loss, it's like, okay, but we lost. But when you get a brace and a win, you know, and a dominating win against, by the way, we got to remind people, these are the top 2 teams in the league. So It was a battle of you had to win really to kind of close that gap. I loved it. That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. What's it like being the best football club in town?
It's the best. Yeah, no, it's awesome.
You know, you realize you're not just unbeaten. Yeah. You guys made it to the finals last year. I didn't see Inter Miami make it to the finals.
No, sir.
I don't think Inter Miami's unbeaten right now. Fort Lauderdale United is unbeaten. I don't know. I just want to. How's it feel to be the best football club in town?
It's awesome. It's the best. Yeah, it's been super fun. I'm so excited to be here. Just joining the team this year, and yeah, it's been a ton of fun in training, in games, all of it. It's been the team energy, vibe. It's been great.
My head was on a swivel on Saturday because we got the UM game going on. We got you guys going on. We got Inter Miami going on. There's like all kinds of games. And so I'm reaching out to Isabel and Tommy. And one of the things that I loved about this team so far all year, you guys can score.
Yeah.
Not been an issue, right? And then the first 2 games, you gave up some goals. What I love is the adjustment now, a road and a home win, and you are limiting the opponent. So the defense has also gotten better in these first 4 games. Talk a little bit about that, Kelly.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. We're scoring a lot more, and we're keeping the opponents from scoring. So it's been awesome. I do think like this last game is exactly what we needed. I think early on we were kind of keeping teams alive and in the game when they shouldn't have been, like going up 2-0 against Lexington and letting them come back, you know, and then Spokane only going 1-0. Carolina, them having, the fastest goal, the fastest goal in USL history against us, and then making it a dogfight when it didn't need to be.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what makes me most excited about this last game, where it's like, man, we didn't just crush them in the scoring, but like we kept them not scoring. And Dallas coming into that game was they had only 1 goal scored against them before us, and then we put 4 against them and 1. So yeah, I guess it's clicking on both ends. And it's been great. But yes, go back to the defense specifically, like they have been rock solid back there, and that's where it starts. So like if they're keeping
the balance is there now is what I like.
Yes, building out of the back, coming through the midfield, all of it. This last game, it was awesome.
Kelly Van Treek joining us from the Fort Lauderdale United. By the way, they are back in action September 28th, Brooklyn FC, 3:00, Saturday night. You guys held the ball for 66% of the time.
Yeah. Yep. Needed it.
Wow. They were lonely on the other side of the pitch there.
Yeah.
They were bored.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly what we needed. And then that's what our coaches have been focusing a lot on, like, hey, we need to get our possession up. The amount of passes we connect needs to be raised. And, yeah, that's just what we did against Dallas. So that was awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. What have you attributed the defensive snap in the last couple games? What is it that has triggered the chemistry for you guys on defense?
I mean, I think partially is just getting time together, just because we've had a lot of new players coming in and out, and a lot of turnover from last year. And so I think part of it is just developing a rhythm. And we've played with the back line a little bit, and that's what you're going to do early days. You're going to try different pieces. Yeah, I was in the back line for a little bit, so we've tried a lot of different things, and just trying to find what clicks. And so I think this last game we got into a little bit more of a rhythm, and so it's just getting on the same page.
Is it good now you get a little bit of a break where you get to rest a little bit here and get your legs back?
Yeah, both a little bummed because we're in a nice rhythm, and it's like, man, we just came off a great high. Like, let's go again. Let's keep going.
That is so athlete of you. I've been doing this for 35 years, and there's not an athlete in the world that I've ever met that when things are going good, they don't really want to stop. They kind of momentum is something that you really, rhythm and momentum is something that's, been. But hey, listen, to your credit, the first couple of games, you guys were playing well offensively. You were allowing some goals, okay, and then you've kind of, gotten adjusted and you've leveled it off now on defense. So maybe the practice time will be good for you guys to sharpen stuff up too. At the same time, you can use the off time as a positive too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even though it was a dominant performance against Dallas, still things we need to work on, we need to grow in. And so, practice time is also good to just continue to clean things up that need to be cleaned up, continue to stay on the same page, get organized, all of those pieces. So, we'll grow from it. We'll get better. But
there was 21 penalties. There's some bumps and bruises there. You guys need to recover from, It's I always love when people say, oh, soccer, it's not that physical. Man, go watch a match.
Yeah, right.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
So it's how physical is this league? Because I don't think people realize you guys are physical. Like it's a physical league. You guys go after each other hard. Okay.
Oh yeah.
These ladies show no mercy, folks, when you go out there. I just want you to know. But it's just it is really competitive. I'm impressed, really.
Yeah, it is.
You talk a little bit about that demand physically, because it's got to put a toll on you.
Yeah, definitely bumps and bruises. I mean, I wake up after a game and it's like you don't realize with the adrenaline, you don't realize during the game exactly. And then you wake up the next day and it's like, gosh, my neck hurts, my right calf hurts, just a bunch of random knocks and bruises. But yeah, I mean, that's what's part of the fun though. Like, you're getting into tackles hard, and against a team when we're dominating too, like there is going to be a lot of frustrating tackles too, which I felt like we felt last night too. Our Saturday night was, just like them knocking us down out of frustration. But I mean, I don't even want to say knocking us down, just because we hold our own. We knock them down a lot too. When
they get frustrated, they take cheap shots. It's kind of the way it is, and you guys were kind of dominating in that game. Kelly Van Treek joining us from Fort Lauderdale United. You get ready for Brooklyn. Give me a preview. What do you know about Brooklyn? What do you see from them? Can you give me a little bit? I know it's a little bit of ways, and you haven't maybe gone deep into the film, but what do you know so far about the challenge that you're going to face with Brooklyn?
I know that there's a target on our back. So I know that we're going to get their best game. We haven't really dove into the scout, and just like we're making adjustments in our lineup game after game and through trainings, I know that they're going to make adjustments So don't know exactly what to expect. I just know that we're going to get a hard game and we're going to get their best.
I'm with you there. All right, Kelly, thank you for taking the time. Congratulations. The ladies are the best football club in town. You are unbeaten 2-0-2.
Yes,
and
sir.
look forward to the game. And remember, folks, you can catch it on Peacock, and you can also catch it on Channel 10 here locally. You can catch all the Fort Lauderdale United games and get on out to Beyond Bankcard Field and cheer on the ladies. Kelly, thank you for taking the time. Enjoy the time off.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. My pleasure. There you go. All right, good stuff. Kelly Van Treek. And by the way, we thank all your cooling and plumbing. They know how to get it done. Extended warranties, financing available, same-day installations, free repair estimates, 7 days a week service. They have over 350,000 satisfied customers. I've known Tommy for a long time, Tommy Smith and company. They do a fantastic job, and they've owned this since 1973. They've been at this for 52 years. So give them a ring. All year cooling and plumbing. Anywhere here in South Florida, from Homestead all the way to Vero Beach. And we've got a new office now in Naples on the west coast of Florida. Give them a ring. 888-204-5554. All right. All right, good stuff. And we thank Kelly for taking the time. That was awesome. And they are off to an excellent start. How about that? The Fort Lauderdale United are the best football club in town. Period. End of story. They made it to the finals last year. The ladies made it to the finals. Did Inter Miami make it to the finals? They couldn't make it out of the first round, dude. And right now, they're at the top with Dallas. At the top of the standings. They're 1 point off of Dallas right now, but they just beat Dallas. So they are the top two teams right now in the league, and they both played each other this Saturday night. So they are looking strong. See if we can make another run. This time, win the title game. Last year, they got to the title game. This time, they need to win it. So there you go. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Yesterday in the NFL, couple of games of interest, the Bengals and the Jags. Bengals improved to 2-0, but they lost Joe Burrow, who has toe surgery. He has turf toe, and he's out for 3 months. What a shame that this team cannot protect their quarterback, dude. It's when you draft a quarterback, protect them and run the damn ball, dude. Especially when, Burrow's not really like a super mobile guy. He can run around a little bit, but that's not what you want him doing. It's not his game. Protect the guy. It's crazy. Anyway, Lions rout the Bears 52-21. Jared Goff with 5 touchdowns, 334 yards. Amon St. Brown had 3 touchdowns on 115 yards on 9 catches. The Rams over the Titans 33-19. Rams are 2-0. Titans are 0-2. Cam Ward wasn't impressive. 19 of 33, 175 yards, a touchdown, 4 rushes for 8 yards. Cam Ward has very little help, dude. Okay, and he's a rookie. He's doing just fine. It's really rough for him right now. Guys have dropped passes. He's not necessarily in sync with them yet completely. They're not a good team. This is a bad football team, bro. This is a bad football team. So just in case if anybody's going to be, like, oh, Cam's not that impressed, bro, this is a bad team. Hopefully the team will grow around him and help him out. Bills rout the Jets 30-10. James Cook, 21 of 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can expect him to attack the Dolphins this week. They're going to get a lot of James Cook on Thursday night. Seahawks over the Steelers. Bro, the Steelers suck. They are a terrible franchise. They have gotten to the point now where because of their front office and their head coach, while Tomlin's a fantastic coach, he is a cancer to their personnel department, apparently. So this is not a good team. And Aaron Rodgers, touchdown and 2 interceptions against the Seahawks. I guess he wasn't playing the Jets, huh? Sam Darnold threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and 295 yards, but he got the win. Colts, they improved to 2-0 and they beat the Broncos. Bo Nix, threw for 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. Daniel Jones, 23 of 34, 316, a touchdown. He also rushed 6 times for 2 yards and 1 touchdown in the process, but they're 2-0. So kudos to the Colts. Better than an 0-2 Miami, right? I can't complain about that. The Eagles over the Chiefs, and Mahomes getting killed, bro. They don't have the protection they need. They only rushed for 66 yards. I'm sorry. They only rushed, what's it called? For 31 yards outside of Mahomes rushing for 66 being your leading rusher. So they couldn't get any of their guys, Hunt or Pacheco, going. Pacheco was 10 of 22. Hunt was 8 of 31. They just could not really get a strong running game going. Unfortunately, Mahomes was running for his life. This is not good for him. Hurts, by the way, was mediocre. 15 of 22, 101 yards. He rushed 9 times for 15 yards and a touchdown. He goes as long as his offensive and defensive line and running game survives, then Hurts will be all right. He's not going to be winning you a ton of games with his arm. That's not who he is. And then the Falcons and the Vikings. The Falcons beat the Vikings 22-6. Michael Penix for a scintillating 135 yards. J.J. McCarthy, 158 yards and 2 interceptions. I used to be a big Chris Collinsworth fan. But ever since he got into business and corporate and PFF and all that, he has become a shill. And there is so little objectivity in what he used to bring some fire to his broadcast. Now he doesn't give a strong opinion anymore. He's like Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy and the future of the NFL. Personally, for me, I'm not that impressed with J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix. Okay. The Jaden Daniels, the kid I like. Yeah. But I wasn't a fan of, but of course he's a shill for the league and PFF and all that other crap that he does. And we'll see. The coach for Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell, will get the best out of J.J. McCarthy, but I still don't believe that J.J. McCarthy is the guy, no matter what they try to sell you. And I'm not a big Michael Penix believer either. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But it certainly didn't look like the future of the NFL, like Chris Collinsworth said in his bullshit promo to open up the broadcast. I was just laughing my ass off when I saw that. These guys haven't done anything. It's like, yeah, bro, let's see if they can even play in this league for a while before we start saying the future of the NFL. It's too funny. Too funny how we just get on these bandwagons like right away. Anyway. All right, let me see what you guys got here on the chat board. What we got? John Pettis, Ron P. Pressure on the QB helps alleviate the DBs. The QB that has less time to throw, tell me how it's working out when the QB has all day. Yeah, no, of course. In our case, we got 2 seconds. Marino Castillo, I know it's impossible for teams in U.S. sports, but in situations as the one the Dolphins are, when you understand and need relegation, with no relegations, team can stay. Bro, we're in the United States of America. Okay? We don't do that. Just don't do that. The USL is actually going to do that now in soccer, but that's not going to happen in pro sports in America. We have playoffs. So don't waste your time talking about that silliness because it has nothing to do with American sports. You're in America. In America, they do it the American way, which is you go to playoffs and you buy your way in as a league, and then you can be Mike Brown forever and not spend money. Or you could be the Marlins and not spend money. That's the American way, and it's always been that way. That's not going to change. They're not going to have promotion and relegation for pro football because they're just it's not like soccer. Okay? The world plays soccer, dude. Every country plays soccer. It's super easy to go play soccer anywhere in the world. Grab 2 poles, put them on the ground there, and go grab a soccer ball, and that's it. To play football, you need equipment. You need all kinds of stuff. You need the proper field. You need everything to go on. It takes a lot of money. So very limited people can play football. You don't have Division 1 and 2 and 3. You just have college football. And that's because it's school and college football. That's how it's structured. We don't have a Division 1, 2, 3 in football. That doesn't happen. And in baseball, they have promotion and relegation. It's just individually. You'll get sent down to the minors if you suck. That's how it happens. And there's a Division 1, 2, and 3 in the minors. You know, there's instructional league, there's single A, there's double A, there's triple A. That structure is there, but it's structured for individuals. But there are no football or basketball or hockey that you can make a Division 1, 2, and 3 because there's not enough players to do that stuff. So promotion and relegation is silly talk in the United States of America. You just have to understand our structure, that there's no way you can do it. The world doesn't play American football. The world plays football. Every person, every country, every sex, they play it. So what it is, you have women's leagues, you have men's leagues. That's just not pro football, my brother. So promotion and relegation will never go on with the NFL. It cannot. Let's see. Joseph is just like the rest of us. I have no idea what fixes this Dolphin teams. They need Jesucristo. This may even be too big of a job for Jesus. Jay says, excited to hear with Kelly Van Treek. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ronald McDonald has not been fired. No. David G says, I just can't get over your stance on Greer. You claim to be the guy that tells the truth. Other broadcasters will not. But when it comes to your main source on the team, you protect him. Exactly, like a left tackle. Let's see what else. Anthony Campos, huge favor to ask the chat board. Who wants a Dolphin ticket for $80 and a Ruth Chris gift card? How much is that gift card worth? Ruth Chris is not cheap, bro. Meat prices are just climbing in this country. You know, they made claims when they took over they were going to make everything cheaper, and suckers bought it, but that ain't happening. Ray Grullon, howdy-o. My cousin is in the Dominican Republic. He's getting married in a few months. I will need a wedding planner. Do you know anyone? Oops, my bad. I can contact our Finns coach. He's a good wedding planner. No, he's not. No, I wouldn't even trust Mike McDaniel as a wedding planner. Bro, the wedding is important. I wouldn't want anybody close. I wouldn't want Mike McDaniel close to my wedding. I had a great wedding with my wife 31 years ago, a perfect wedding. It was all structured perfectly. Are you kidding me? If Mike McDaniel was in charge of my wedding, he would get my wife fucking lost. She would have never shown up at the church. She would have ended up somewhere else. And I'm standing there going, yo, did she leave me or something? And there's Mike with the headset. Hey, where's the bride? Oh, we sent her to Boca, like you said. You know. No, you can't have Mike McDaniel in charge of any wedding. It'll become a divorce before it becomes a wedding. There's no way. You can't do that. Are you kidding me? It's impossible. Baked beans and spaghetti will end up on your dinner plates. You're at a wedding and you're eating spaghetti and baked beans. Mike McDaniel, he's a 10-year-old. He still eats spaghetti-o and his beans. So he figures everybody else likes that. No, dude, you can't have Mike McDaniel in charge of any kind of a wedding. No. That would be a wedding disaster, is what it would be. In fact, it would be wedding crashers too. with Mike McDaniel, but a different kind of crashing, your wedding. So, yeah, no, not a good, that's not a good, your friend, okay, you don't think highly of your friend in the DR. You're sabotaging him the way Tua's been sabotaged by Flo and McDaniel. As I explained yesterday on the postgame show, do you realize that Tua Tagovailoa was coached by a guy that was sabotaging him on purpose in Flo, and then in Mike McDaniel is a guy that sabotages him indirectly? It's amazing. So you want him to sabotage your friends? Oh, maybe that's what it is. You're joking with me. You want to ruin your boy's wedding, so you're sending Mike McDaniel. That's what it is. That's probably what it is. It's probably what it is. All right. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. Okay? We appreciate it. What else do we have here? Eagles over the Kansas City Swifts. It's your cousin, Ray. That's not nice. You're ruining your cousin's wedding in the DR, Ray. You know, Ray. Not very nice. PDC says, we knew this would not work with McDaniel when he turned a press conference into a stand-up comedy stint. Yeah. Yeah. Horndog says, JJ didn't impress me when he was in college. He underachieved here. And it's not like he won anything at Oklahoma State, and he underachieved here at the University of Miami. So, Think Blue Dodger says, just rewatch Dazed and Confused. Actress Joey Lauren Adams was looking like a complete smoke show. I have to watch Dazed and Confused. I have not seen that in so long. You know what I watched over the weekend with the wife? This Slapshot. She had never seen Slapshot, and it holds up fine. You still laugh, dude. She laughed. So that was cool. I got my wife to laugh a few times, so I thought that was cool. She had never seen Slapshot. She enjoyed it. So that was cool. I like it. Juan Mendoza says, 80? Hell nah. You need to pay me at least 150 to go see a Dolphin game. He doesn't want to pay. You got to pay him to go. That's a good one. I like that. Sprout from Space says, do you think McDaniel hits the sauce again? Oh, you guys are so bad. No, I hope not. Okay. Pat in Asheville says, everything is cheaper now compared to 2050 price report. Do you think Ross has already whispered in Weaver's ear to get ready here soon to take over? No, but it won't hurt. So, yeah, the Drew baked beans and spaghetti. That's what you're going to have at a Mike McDaniel catered wedding. I'm with, yeah, and a Twinkie for dessert. Yeah. No doubt. That's Mike McDaniel for you. So, he'll probably have the groom and all his guys in capri pants. Seriously, is that where you're going? Is that where you're going, Ray Grullon? You want the groom in capri pants? And, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Ray. Hold on. I don't know if McDaniel has the power to marry people, but can you imagine if he's the one holding the ceremony too, with the ums and the ahs and the all rights? He'll put everybody to sleep. I mean, that if you want to sabotage a wedding, there's no doubt. Like our Dolphin seasons, just hire Mike McDaniel. Anyway, help me out, Big O. Announce to the chat board that any tickets you want for the Dolphins this season for $80, gift card, Ruth Chris. Anthony, I don't think you're going to have any luck with that. Daniel Guzman says, real talk, I don't see McClown getting fired until after the Jets game of week 4. Buffalo will crush them. If they show up lame for the Jets, then that will be the last straw. I personally think that would be a waste of time because you have 10 days between that and the Jets, and it is the Jets. So get Weaver in there, give him 10 days to prepare for the shitty Jets so he can start off his interim career with an easy win. Just saying, my brother. I think it makes a little bit more sense to get rid of him already. I'd have Weaver coaching this game too, by the way. It's a mulligan for him. But, okay, short week. Okay, whatever. Fire him Thursday night. Don't let him get on the plane. Have him walk back home. And then you guys fly back and you name Weaver the coach and give him 10 days to prepare for the shitty Jets. So that way you can kind of start things off, get a win, build some confidence, all that kind of stuff. I would rather have it that way, my friend. So we'll disagree on that one. Let's see. Joseph Rosbal. McDaniel would have a hot dog salad as an appetizer at a wedding. From Dairy Queen, of course. Don't forget about the capri pants, nice clean shoes with the tag still on it. I like that. Ray goes, Dios mío, heck no. Ross needs to fire the entire staff into the sun. Maybe he wants the bride to break it off and get with her. Anyway, I don't know, but it's bad. Don't forget, folks, to hit the like button. You can also, of course, make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Of course, make sure you visit our amazing sponsors. And, sometimes we have got to figure out what was a key decision of the game. And yesterday with the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, you wonder, what was the key decision of the game?
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Slowman's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Slowman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Slowman's key decision of the game.
And I got to tell you, it's also brought to you by Slowman's Shield Link. It is reality now where you can control everything in your home with your smart devices. They all work together seamlessly and effortlessly. You can, from an intuitive app, you can control your lights, climate, door locks, music, blinds, TV, just about anything in your home. Shield Link you will love. Professional grade security monitoring with cutting edge smart home automation. Homeowners can lock doors, adjust the thermostat, switch lights on or off, view the camera feeds, even create automated routines from a single dashboard. So reach out to our friends at Slowman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME. And the key decision to the game, okay, was made by Stephen Ross in the offseason. By keeping Mike McDaniel in place and not firing his ass is the reason why we are in this mess every single week. Because there is no decision in a game that will change the key decision that he made, keeping and extending a guy that hasn't accomplished jack crap. That's the key decision. You brought back a coach who is inept. You brought back a coach who is unorganized. 4 years in, can't get plays in on time, can't get his players organized, can't even commit to the run. He can't even compliment his front office. They give him players and he doesn't use them. And this happens year in and year out. And it doesn't matter if it's Chris Brooks or if it's Mike Gesicki or if it's Ollie Gordon or last year in the first month of the season with Jonnu Smith and so on and so forth or whatever. Same shit happens. Nothing changes. Why? Because you, Mr. Stephen Ross, made the key decision. You extended a coach for the second time. Joe Philbin was the first. This was the second time you extended a coach who did not deserve it. So you have guaranteed your franchise to lose a lot of money because now you've got to pay him all the years that are left after you fire his ass. And you have guaranteed your fan base and your team another bad season because you kept McDaniel and extended him. That's our Slowman's key decision of the game.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Slowman's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Slowman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
And yesterday, there is no MVP. But on Saturday, oh, baby, I could go with a couple, but I'm going to go with one because I've got an agenda all about it. So let me go to our Moodius Dental MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moodius Dental. Get your smile back at Moodius Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moodius.dental.
Here's our Moodius Dental MVP of the night.
His name is Mark Fletcher. You know, one of the things that I appreciate about Mario Cristobal is he's a former offensive lineman. He played in the days when the Canes were the Canes. And part of being the Canes was that you were physical, you were intimidating, and you would run the ball and punch people in the mouth. And when you have an animal like Mark Fletcher, and I mean that in a beautiful term, a beast, a machine, an NFL caliber running back in Mark Fletcher, you use him 16 times, 121 yards, and 3 touchdowns, caught 2 balls for 25 yards. That's what brings balance to the offense. That's what keeps your opponent this week, okay, South Florida. Next week, it'll be Florida. Whoever it is, Notre Dame, you keep them honest, knowing that they've got to respect the running game. The team that plays on Sunday, nobody respects them because they know that they're not physical and they're not going to punch you in the mouth and they're not going to shove the ball down your throat. You saw it for 1 down with Ollie Gordon for 8 yards, and watch the last 3 where he takes 2 guys with him. That's what you need. That helps your quarterback. That helps your offensive line. Your offensive line does not want to pass pro all game long and get beat up. That's ridiculous. Okay? Mark Fletcher, that's MVP right there. And kudos to Mario Cristobal, not only for recruiting him, but for using him. Because you can sign them and draft them in the NFL, but Mike McDaniel, the moron, isn't going to use them. Mario Cristobal, he understands how important running is. And Mark Fletcher, there's no doubt. That's our Moodius Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moodius Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back, they accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodius.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
Right. Man, it's just frustrating. And I feel for all of you out there because you don't deserve this crap. But yet it continues to happen. It's just, unacceptable. All right, folks. Anything else? I think I'm going to wrap it up. I've done 2 hours and 40 minutes. We did post game and all that kind of stuff. And we did Saturday too. We've done 7 days in a row. So we're going to rest. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2:00. We'll be live at Hialeah Park. We're also going to be at Canesware later on in the week too. And we will have also a a Dolphins post-game show, pre- and post-game show on Thursday night also. So we'll get all of that done. We thank, of course, Kelly Van Treek from Fort Lauderdale United for joining us. And, of course, Ira Winderman, the man, the myth, the legend. We thank Sean Stanley. Thank you, Sean, as always, mastering the platform. Appreciate all of you that tuned in. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important you smash the like button, whether you're watching or listening at any time. Visit our sponsors. If you made a donation, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.